I'm a conservative, right? It's one of those things. It's kind of like your fingerprint. It doesn't change. For me, it didn't. When growing up, by the age of 18, I was already a conservative. I already knew who I was, right? And so, when I was a senior in high school, I got pulled out of class. The vice principal took me to get registered to vote. A bunch of us, like 3 or 4 of us. On the way there, you're a Democrat. Your father's a Democrat. Your mom's a Democrat. Your brother's a Democrat. Your grandparents were Democrats. You're a Democrat. Ellos hacen por los pobres.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? Maybe that was true back then. Yeah. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah, point. We've had that discussion here on the show.
Yeah, maybe it was true back then. And so things have changed. Los republicanos son para los ricos.
Yeah.
Eres democrata.
Yeah.
And so I became a Democrat. I went to college. I became a cop. I was in law enforcement. I started seeing some things that I didn't fully agree with. I'm like, man. And as time went by, that kept happening more and more and more and more. And, I think it was probably 10, 12 years in the border patrol when I finally, I just had a knot in my head. It was a bit of a conundrum just trying to figure out who I really was. Because, the way I looked at myself, I've always been in here. This is my spectrum. My left, my far right. And this is where I belong. This is who I am. This is where I've always been. This is where I'm going to continue to be. So somewhere in that spectrum was the Democrat Party, right? I aligned with that at one point. And so through the years, as things started going by, changing, I started seeing myself not in the party, not, staying in that spectrum. And the other party started sliding. Everything slid left, in my opinion. The Democratic Party slid left. The Republican Party slid left. One thing that didn't slip is me. I stayed where I was. This is still me. I've never changed that. So what did change is the parties. And so now, it's like being a Dallas Cowboy fan and trying to now all of a sudden be an Eagles fan. It ain't happening, right? So that was
negative.
Yeah, that was the problem in my head. How do I switch to this other party? But finally, things just got, when I started seeing political or politicians support groups that were openly marching on the streets advocating for the killing of police officers. You remember that time frame?
Yep.
A couple of administrations ago.
Right.
To me, that was it. ¿Sabes qué? I'm done. I'm done with this. And so I just started seeing things a little bit more clear. It didn't change who I was. The same values that I had back then, I have today. I believe in a strong border. I believe in the institution of the marriage, of a family unit, right? I believe in God. I believe in a strong military, supporting our police. And you know what? The people in Starr County do too. They're conservatives too. They're no different than I am. It just happens I'm in another party now. So the message to me, I say all that to say this. Come election day on November, I'm not asking anybody to change their party affiliations. You can be whoever you want to be politically. You can be a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever. I'm not asking anybody to change their party. What I want them to do is to vote the candidate. Leave the party fight, the pointing fingers up in D.C., right? Los pleitos que tienen allá. Leave that up there. That has nothing to do with the local elections. Here on these elections, it's a vote that's going to very directly impact the people and the decisions and the progress, in this case, of the sheriff's office. So vote the party. Don't vote the party. I'm sorry. Don't vote the party. Vote the candidate. Look at the candidates. What do they stand for? How hard are they fighting for the position? What's a historical track record of the candidates? Who do you really, don't deny yourself, who do you really believe to be the best candidate to take this office into the future, the next 4 years? Vote your conscience, not the parties. And whatever you decide, I can respect that. That's my message to the people of Starr County.
There you go. Wow.
Really, and all the politicians that we've had on the show, nobody's really explained anything like the way he's explained it today. True or not true?
True.
Like you explained it to us, like if like I said, we were little kids, to make us understand, what the hell you're actually. No. Which is a good thing, because
I think what you're trying to say is just he came level.
Yeah.
Because
para la raza, para que entienda un poquito.
But yeah, because a lot of the other people here would be like, like but the way you explained it was just perfect, man.